Hey to you all, I'm Art Perry, also known as Professor Art, and welcome to Rebel Culture. This is part 5 of Burned and Banned, looking at censorship, the erasing of history, the closing down of art institutes that's happening in America right now. This will be the final episode dealing with that. I'll explain why. I've I've come to a point where I'd like to be more positive. Oh, it doesn't mean it's gone away. In fact, it's ramping up, and but I feel that it's overwhelming, and it doesn't mean to avoid it. It doesn't mean to step aside. Still be engaged, but with these podcasts, my knowledge of culture, my love of culture, I'm going to focus on that. So I've come to a crossroads. Much like Robert Johnson, the great blues singer, it's me and the devil now. And as he said in Crossroads, I got the crossroads blues this morning. Lord, baby, I'm sinking down. And I'm sinking down. I want to move away for a while from the stupidity, from the corruption, the uneducated dismantling of learning and creativity that's happening. So, I'm sure it'll come back. I'm sure I'll um, get all steamed up and do that. I want to celebrate a bit. So that's what's going to happen. And I hope I've made my point. There's been many hours I've in the 5 different episodes. There's one more. This will be my last one. So I'm looking at education today. I'm looking at the this sense of parity, and after that, we'll move on. So there are people who are also making very, very worthwhile commentaries, much more learned, much more engaged with what's happening with American culture than I. And I'd like to mention Robert Reich. Robert Reich is an American professor who just retired after 40 odd years, similar to me. Uh, he's also a lawyer, best known perhaps his engagement with the Democratic Party. He worked with Bill Clinton, and he was very instrumental in successfully lobbying for national increase in the minimum wage. So I really like his commentary. So he's someone, not everybody is overwhelmed by him. There's criticism, of course. There is for everything, isn't there? But I would just recommend him. If I'm not screaming and yelling and trying to articulate, he's there. Now, Robert Reich, came up with 5 areas or facets on the authoritarians' attack and how it works on the populace's mind. He's very attuned on how the current administration is dealing with mind thought, right out of George Orwell's 1984 with, ignorance is strength, that whole idea. He has 5 areas, and a number of them I have touched on at length in my ramble. Uh, One, rewrite history. Two, gut education. Three, dismantle science. Four, suppress the media. And five, attack the arts. Now, attack the arts. That is something that is most painful for me to witness, uh, because it's really our testament to our civilization. So I want to just add one final coda dealing with censorship of the arts. I read in the newspaper today about an exhibition was planned for the Smithsonian. I've talked a lot about the Smithsonian. And here's a headline in today's Guardian. Artist Amy Sherrill cancels Smithsonian show. The caption under the headline is, "The portraitist withdrew her National Portrait Gallery show over reports that a transgender Statue of Liberty painting," you can see the painting on the right hand of the screen here, was could be offensive to Donald Trump. And she was warned that the work very likely will be taken out of the exhibition because of that offense. I just want to end this short introduction to today's podcast by screaming, final bit of scream here, "Go, Amy, go. Go, Robert Reich, go." Both these activists have their hands closer to the fires of American rising fascism than I do. Right? I'm not turning away from what's happening. I'd never do that because it just means so much to me. But in terms of rebel culture, the overriding topic of these podcasts, I'd like to shift gears somewhat and get more celebrational about the outlaw cultural rebels who have and will change the course of the world. It's what I know, it's what I love, and it's what I've lived. So thank you for listening to the last 4 episodes of Burned and Banned. And I'm going to move into talking a final bit about education and teaching. And I'll leave you with this quote before we get into the main podcast. And it's from a poet, Delmar Schwartz, who actually was Lou Reed's favorite poet. In any event, Delmar Schwartz had this quote on learning and life. He said, "Time is the school in which we learn. Time is the fire in which we burn." Teaching is about learning to think, to be fair, to research, to put things in a perspective that has a balance. And the importance of teachers is something else that is being, as I said before, put on the cutting block, because the non-funding of universities and so forth is going on. This has never happened. This is right now. Right. This is why I'm steaming. That's why I'm doing this. I mean, I'd love to just be talking about the things that I love, but I'm doing this because the things I love are in peril. And I don't know what this means. I don't know if people are going to listen to what I'm going on about, or if, my attempt to put it together with examples, historical examples of the damage that can be done from this kind of overt uh, cultural annihilation. But the comedian, how's that for a non sequitur? The comedian Tim Minchin, who is a bit of an acquired taste, like wasabi. He can be outspoken and so forth, but he's incredibly bright. And he was given an honorary degree at a university at a convocation he's from Australia, and so it was in Australia. And he did the commencement speech, and it was 10 years ago now. And he said the following, which I champion. I say yes. Tim Minchin said, "Be a teacher. Please, please, please be a teacher. Teachers are the most admirable and most important people in the world. Even if you're not a teacher, be a teacher. Share your ideas. Rejoice in what you learn and spray it." Spray it. That's it. Don't be quiet. Even if you're not a teacher, take what you believe, share it. That's so important. I taught cultural history, art, literature, film, and all these smudges that have been left for future generations. And I want them to be there. I don't want the history to be rewritten and the things that I think are of immense, immeasurable value to be no longer there. Here's an article from May of this year about Harvard University being defunded. The directives from Trump and his administration are to end all the diversity programs and prevent students from being indoctrinated into, oh yes, into un-American values. This sense of the importance of teaching, right? It's not teaching it's not teaching a dogma, right? It's not the fear by these uneducated ones is that university profs are teaching radical ideas that are meant to undermine the capitalist system and lead everything back into a communist Marxist state. Fear comes from lack of knowledge, right? And universities, and I taught in universities and went through universities for 50 years, and I know the clarity, the thinking, the expansive, glorious thinking, the igniting of ideas that happen in universities. Now, someone like Trump and the people around him, the people he's got from Fox News to take over, these are not university people. These are not people who have a position to impart teaching, wisdom, fairness. They are people who are just towing the line. And here's another headline, an article from May of this year on the banning of international students, this sort of fear of the other, right? Banning international students. What else can you ban? How about banning public broadcasting, PBS and NPR? I mean, PBS. They're going against PBS. What did PBS do? They gave us Mr. Rogers. They gave us Sesame Street. Oh, yeah. Austin City Limits. Frontline won an Oscar, right? PBS it won an Oscar last year. The American Masters series on PBS is about great Americans, right? It has shows on everybody from Truman Capote to Lucille Ball to Bob Dylan, the Beat Generation, which I love. They did Alice Walker, Patsy Cline, another one. I'm going through this very quickly, but you probably have seen all these headlines, and you're hopefully you're as jacked up with anger as I am. But I have mentioned the Kennedy Center. Here's the headline where Trump and his cronies espouse a new cultural vision that they saw, which was, let's bring in, Christmas music, a bit of country music, maybe Cats. Cats is good. And the first thing that Trump went to, as you know, was Les Miserables, which is based on Victor Hugo's book, which is about standing up against unfair power. And he doesn't see that, right? And anyway, 12 cast members refused to perform at the Kennedy Center after he had taken it over. This gets really golden now. I'm going to go out with guns blazing with rapid fire things that I just can't believe, but yeah, it's happening. So let's just go bam, bam, bam. This is a portrait of President Trump done by a woman called Sarah Boardman. And it's not a great portrait, but it's a portrait. It's hanging in the Colorado state capitol. Trump saw this in this little corner of the Colorado state capitol, and he said, "This portrait of me looks terrible. It has been, quote, purposefully distorted." So he said, get rid of it, get it out of here. Around the same time, Trump was given a portrait, which he loved, from the Russian government, right? Putin himself, in March of this year, gave him this portrait of him after the shooting at Butler. Both were attempts to do something which are flattering, but he, in his ego, said, "Oh no, I can't have the one that's So a replacement was done. Oh, this is just so great. A replacement was done, and here it is. It was done last month. A new portrait for the Colorado state capitol, and it was done by a woman called Vanessa Urbana. I put under this the caption, "In June 2025, replacement portrait was painted by Vanessa Urbana known for her speed painting during Christian worship services. Okay, now what I want to get to here is who's making these decisions? Of all the artists, of all the creativity, of all the wealth of culture in America, who decides to get this Christian speed painter? The other side, you can see one of her other works that gives you an idea they chose from this wealth of her creativity. This image is of Christ on the cross with the nativity scene. Is it like a light thing? What's going on here? Anyway, it's called Love's True Story, and you can get it from Vanessa for 11,000 plus if you want. You can buy it. It's god awful. It's just it comes from the most unrealized sense of art and culture. What I'm trying to show here is that the right now the people in charge of culture, in charge of whether it's art, music, literature, they have no understanding of that, no cultural depth. And what this means is you have people like, Vanessa doing an image of the president, a portrait of the president. Let's just continue this boorish, uncultured thread that runs through the current administration from Trump down. Let's just look at this headline from May from New York Times. Trump's Oval Office is a gilded Rococo nightmare. Help. Look at this. Under the headline, it reads, Gilded Rococo wall appliques nearly identical to the ones Mr. Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate are stuck to the fireplace and office walls with the same level of aesthetic consideration as a child gives her doll's face before covering it in nail polish. This is where we're at. This, when I go on about art and culture and the stopping of funding to Harvard or to the Smithsonian, this is the epicenter, right? This is it. The gilded Rococo appliques. Here's another one. This is a photo from 2013 posted by Trump's First Lady, Melania Trump, on Twitter, posing in their New York apartment. Let's keep it going. Here is the history of presidents and the people from culture they've invited to the White House. Look at this, right from Dwight Eisenhower, had Dizzy Gillespie, the great jazz musician. John F. Kennedy had Joan Crawford and Judy Garland. Nixon was great. I mean, for maybe not with Watergate, but for who he had. He had Elvis, he had James Brown, Duke Ellington, and Ray Charles. It goes on. Jimmy Carter, gotta love him. Johnny Cash, that's all you need. Obama, Bob Dylan, Smokey Robinson. Then we come to Mr. Trump, President Trump. He's invited Kid Rock and Kim Kardashian. Just look at Nobel Prizes for literature. I mean, there's so many Americans. Bob Dylan, Toni Morrison, John Steinbeck, Ernest Hemingway, William Faulkner, T.S. Eliot, Eugene O'Neill. These are all wonderfully challenging, provocative, brilliant writers, thinkers. And that is the legacy of American culture. It's not Kid Rock and Kim Kardashian. Do you think that Trump or any of those people from Fox News he has clustered around him, do you think they've read T.S. Eliot? Do you think they've read William Faulkner? Do you think they... Trump said when they asked him, what are you reading? And he said he's read 2 books, which were his own, Art of the Deal and something else. I mean, that's what he does. There's no... Oh, God. Oh, okay. This is so rich. This is from an interview, and I know I'm laying it on thick, and it's because it's there. Trump was being interviewed, and he talks about the Bible, and so someone said, "What do you like? Old Testament, New Testament?" So the question was from Bloomberg Politics. They asked Trump, "Are you an Old Testament or a New Testament guy?" What a softball question, right? He answers, "Oh, probably equal. I think it's an incredible. The whole Bible is an incredible. I joke very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal, and I say, my second favorite book of all time." This is from The Guardian, March of this year. And I just want to read you this. This is what they say. "The Trump Education Department's main function appears to be targeting critical race theory, DEI, and gender ideology. The final mission of the Education Department also includes the imposition of patriotic education, as if the United States were trying to imitate North Korea." The final thing, and it's just happened, and I don't know how to place this because it's beyond parody, it's beyond sensible understanding, and that is the at the White House there is a garden, and the garden was put in place by Jackie Kennedy, right? First Lady under John F. Kennedy. And here's a photo from April in 1963 and there's President Kennedy in the Rose Garden, and this was built as a bordering the Oval Office and the West Wing, and it's a place for the family, for the first family to enjoy themselves, and for when visitors came to the White House, they would go into this beautiful rose garden. Here's another, just a quick photo of the rose garden from the Oval Office in 1963, after it was put in place by Jackie Kennedy. And Jackie Kennedy designed the rose garden with American botanical specimens, including crab apple trees, tulips, primroses, and hyacinths. And a more recent photo of the White House Rose Garden from 2010. Now, let's go to last month. This is from U.S. Today, from June 20th. White House bulldoze Rose Garden to start Trump's plans to pave it over. Trump has decided to pave over the Rose Garden. Uh, I don't have to say anything. Here's another photo from late last month of what's happening in the Rose Garden. I'll leave you with one last image about art, culture. We're talking about education, teaching, all these things. Put it all together. Let's just look at one image, which was sent out by the White House this month at the same time that the new Superman film was started being screened. And it's an official post by the White House. And I think that says everything. All right. That's it for today. We covered a lot. Thank you for tuning in. And it's, I guess it's just important what we're doing here. You know, I'm here in the bunker and I'm talking away. Thanks for listening and, sharing a bit of time with me. Whomever you are. And until next time, let's keep the quest alive. And hopefully I've given you some things to think about, some things to help put the world in a perspective. It's tough when things are ludicrous to try to talk about it because it always seems like this is a parody, but this is reality. And so until next time, yes, do keep that quest alive and keep well and ciao for now.